In Darjeeling in West Bengal, the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha flexed its muscle for a separate state and set on fire the agreement that had given partial autonomy to the hills. Thousands of people gathered in the heart of town and beat themselves with tube lights. And then they set the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration Agreement on fire. Monideepa Banerjee has spent the last several days in Darjeeling and joins us now. Monideepa, these are the worst protests that we've seen in the Darjeeling Hills since it began in 1985, 1986. And at every stage there have been demands which have made, they've protested, demands that were given, they got more concessions, but now they want even more. Is there any bright idea that the state government or anybody has to try and bring things under control?
Well, if you see the pictures, Vishnu, you will see that there are these bare-bodied men and on their backs their fellow supporters are smashing tube lights till they bleed. And then, of course, there are those pictures of the GTA Accord being burnt. Now, all this is in the presence of policemen. There's a huge security presence over there. But unlike in the last couple of weeks when we had violence, now the police is sort of just standing and watching and there is no confrontation. And for now, that is what the state seems to have adopted as its strategy. So today, widespread protests across the hills, but no confrontation by the police. And the senior minister, tourism minister, Gautam Dev, has called for talks. He says that's the only way out. And these protests, the language of these protests, he says, don't behove a democratic movement. In the meantime, Mamata Banerjee in Kolkata today holding a high-level meeting with police and bureaucrats. Some police changes have been made. They are just being, news is just coming through about them. And the idea is to somehow get a control of the situation in Darjeeling and somehow initiate talks. The centre also watching but hasn't really stepped in as yet.